goes without saying I wasn't thrilled with the start. But it's really a credit to Xavier. We chose to try to take a certain part of their game away, and we were comfortable with a few of those guys shooting three-point shots based on their statistics over the year. Martin and D. Davis, I believe, had both made 14 three-point shots on the year, which is one a game, and they make 9 between them tonight. So you have to tip your hat to them because we tried to take them out of what they wanted to do, and they made us pay for it. But really, really proud of my team for their ability not to get rattled. Playing without Grant the first game, it's 12-0 and 15-3. I didn't see many expressions change on the playing floor with our guys. I think they just forged forward, took it one possession at a time. We got a little bit better movement on the offensive end of the floor, and then did a little bit better job defensively. So this is a really good win for us because we beat a team today that played well. We didn't beat a team that didn't play well today. Xavier played very well, and they're difficult to stop. They've got a lot of weapons, a lot of length and athletic ability, and for us to hang in there on the backboards was something that we thought was going to be really critical. But we just played a team that's going to win a lot of games before the season's out.
Questions from student athletes. Doug, how did your shoulder hold up today? The stats you look like you're doing all right. Was it a body at all?
Not really, not at all. I mean, it just it felt a lot better when I woke up this morning, and I thought that was a good sign. And I really didn't even notice it in shoot around, so I didn't really think about it. And I thought I played well enough with it being a little sore, but I'll ice it up here, and it should be even better by Butler.
Both guys talk about, as Coach mentioned, getting behind like you did early, and just kind of the mentality to get yourself back in that game.
Yeah, like Coach said, we were with some of those guys shooting those shots. That was part of our game plan. But we just said one stop at a time. We're just gonna find a way to chip away back at this, and just kind of by the next TV timeout, let's have this thing tied up, and then from there we'll keep pushing forward.
Yeah, I mean, you have to a really hot start. It hasn't happened to us in a while. I think that's how San Diego State felt when we did it to them. And we have enough mature guys on our team where stuff happens like that, and you gotta be able to bounce back. It's only a couple minutes into the game, and we took that time out and kind of regrouped. We went back to doing what we do. We got some big stops, and then from there, I think it was kind of history, and we put that past us and played much better throughout.
Ethan, what's it like when you get on one of those rolls? I mean, some of those were way out there.
Yeah, but I missed the open ones today. But no, it's just once I get a feel, or once I can see in transition, especially that they're kind of having troubles getting to me. I really don't look. I just kind of Austin and Doug and actually Jay did a really good job of finding me in stride, and that really just makes it a lot easier. And once I hit one, I like to try to get two to follow up behind it, and then we'll see what goes. I hope not, but let's just we'll see what Butler does and down low, and that'll open up the outside, I hope.
Do you have a feel yet for the Big East and how it's going to be? I mean, what did you expect it to be? Do you expect to have an adjustment as a team to have every night?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot what I expected. It's a lot more physical, and these teams have a lot more length and athleticism, and it's a lot of fun though. Every team's new. It's been an incredible start for us. Every game is a new challenge, and we just gotta take it one game at a time. As cliche as that sounds, Butler's probably the best 0-4 team there is anywhere, like in their conference. So it's been a blast so far, but we can't dwell on this. We've done this before in the Missouri Valley, get off to really good starts, and we can't allow ourselves to get complacent. We just got to keep playing hard.
Does that help keep it fresh because it is kind of fresh every game?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it makes practice a lot more fun because you're preparing for new opponents, guys you haven't seen, and the last 3 years, you're chasing Colt Ryan off all these screens. you know all these guys' games, tendencies, and it's kind of boring. And now we see a bunch of new faces and new tendencies, and I think it's something to look forward to every game.
You're on record saying practice is fun.
Could be
Hopefully
short.
those cameras are on.
Well, guys, what did you think of Avery's stepping in the starting lineup, and particularly he seemed to make an impact defensively on Kristen?
Yeah, he did. Kristen's a really good player. When he gets it in transition, he's probably the toughest guy to stop in the country because he just puts his head down and drives, and he can get to the rim easily. And Avery's one of our best defenders, and I thought he still did a good job. There were a couple communication issues, but we're gonna get used to having Avery on the floor more. And I thought he stepped in and gave us big minutes, and wasn't rattled or phased at all by starting.
What do you guys think of that dunk?
Oh, that was nice. Yeah, that sweet baseline. I was surprised he did that. But he's an athlete, and I think he'll show that even more now.
Yeah, I was really proud of Abe. He hasn't really started a game in 3 years. I was talking to him last night about it, and he was just obviously he's going to be a little nervous, but I thought for a first game he really stepped up and helped us out when we needed him, and he's just going to get better from here as he gets more comfortable while Grant gets his knee back together. So we'll be good with Abe in there.
So Morgan, both guys, what was the biggest concern playing without Grant? Played with him for so long.
Yeah, I mean, when you lose a guy like Grant, you're losing another voice in the huddle. It's not just what he can do with the ball and how he communicates, but just a leader in general. It's hard to see a guy go down like that. But we'll get him back, and he's the same old Grant. He's in the huddles telling us things he sees. He's pretty much like a coach the way it is. And at halftime, he's still doing the same things, motivating us. And that was the main thing. But I feel like me, Jay, and Ethan, we've been here long enough. We know what it takes, and we're gonna do this without Grant and get him back as soon as possible.
Yeah, just to build on what Doug said, kind of the stuff that's not exactly on the stat sheet, Grant really helps our team with, and just his demeanor on the court. But like Doug said, us three seniors have played a lot here, and I think it's just time for us to pick it up and until Grant gets back, and we'll be good to go.
Ethan, how are you holding up against such bigger bodies with their knees?
I'm doing all right. I think today probably not my best defensive performance on him, but he's a big guy. I thought he did a good job of working his angles, and I think we just got to get a little a little sharper on our double teams. But he was an unbelievable passer out of there, so that was a challenge, and we just got to clean up a little bit. But I think it's been a challenge. It's been hard, but it's been fun.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Good job. I thought everybody we went to gave us good minutes. Isaiah was even on the floor during that stretch in the first half when we were coming back. We just had some guys running on fumes. Doug didn't practice much this week. Ethan didn't practice much this week with some nagging things. So I was worried about their wind somewhat. So we tried to get some guys in and out, and I thought everybody we put out there did a good job. Obviously, Devin's ability to get to the basket when teams are trying to spread us out and take away the three-point shots, he can create a lot of opportunities. And I thought he was a huge difference in the game this afternoon.
What about Will coming in off the bench, fighting for rebounds? You got 8, and I think there are 2 or 3 of these that he tipped out a position back.
Really rebounded well. It's tough to play against someone that big and that strong. And as Ethan said, he really did a good job of fighting for angles and getting to where he wanted to be. And when our double teams were good, I thought it gave him a little trouble when they were a little slow or we weren't positioned quite right. He made us pay for it. And Will allowed us to play him one-on-one some, just to try to stay closer to some of their shooters. We really didn't want Miles Davis to get started. We felt he was their best shooter. And Justin Martin started off great and then hit 2 bombs late. But we did a good job on him in the middle. But Will was outstanding. He's been pretty consistent since we brought him off the bench of giving us a spark, and that's going to need to continue moving forward.
You just kind of shake your head at that start, and then you scouted, you don't like playing, and then all of a sudden just backfire from the fifth.
Well, it happens. you know, we're a team that has to come up with a plan because we're not going to change many shots at the rim. We're not going to force a lot of turnovers. So we have to we have to pick our poison, so to speak, as simple as that sounds. And you know, to Xavier's credit, you know, they hadn't played a road game in conference play yet, so I thought, all right, let's try to make somebody else knock down some shots. And to their credit, they did that. But certainly wasn't the way I wanted to start the game, and I'm fortunate that our team did not allow it to change their focus. I'm proud of him because you know he obviously didn't do anything Wednesday, didn't do anything Thursday, had a light workout on Friday, and then went half a practice yesterday probably. But he, you know, if he could get it above his head, he was going to play and he was going to try to be effective. I was proud of the fact that I didn't think he shied away from contact. He continued to make those tight curls and, you know, didn't favor it whatsoever. So when he's active, he's really hard to guard. And they, obviously, as you watch the game, they threw a lot of different things at him in terms of switching, not switching, being physical. You know, on a night where he didn't shoot the three-point shot as well as he'd like to, I thought he was very efficient with what he did.
Two more for Coach. Xavier.
Spoken about it before, you know, wanting the crowd to recreate last year's Wichita State. Two games on the TV. I mean, how valuable is crowd?
It's awesome. You know, when they tried to help us early, when we got off to that rough start, and as we started to come back, you could just feel it building in the building, the momentum and the enthusiasm in that crowd, and it makes a huge difference. There's a couple possessions that we miscommunicated on ball screens because our guys were next to each other and couldn't hear each other, and they're screaming at each other. And I'd like that to be a problem every defensive possession. The crowd was great today. Without question, was a difference in the game.
Missed some free throws down the stretch, and you also had 9 turnovers out of your 2 primary point guards. Any concern about that?
Yeah, you don't ever like it when your main ball handlers are turning the basketball over. And you know, Xavier was in desperation mode. Obviously, they're down 10 with, you know, a minute and a half left or whatever it was, and they took some chances, and we didn't execute as well as we needed to execute. But I know Austin and Devin will get back to work tomorrow and look at it on film and try to figure out why the turnovers happened. You know, Austin especially, we've come to expect more from him. Devin is he's still a work in progress, and he's going to make some great plays, and he's going to turn it over a few times. But both of them impacted the game in a far more positive way than they did negative. Thank you.
You know, I got so many thoughts running through my head. An incredible basketball game. You know, I don't know if this is what they envisioned when they reformulated the new Big East, but I'm not going to act like I've been coaching for 40 years, but I don't know if I've been involved in that many games that you know, were as exciting, you know, from a fan's perspective. You know, they present so many problems, you know, and offensively they may be one of the most talented teams I've ever coached against and scouted against. You know, we didn't have a long time to prepare for them. We had just played on Sunday. But, you know, even given a week, it's still, I mean, it's a yeoman's task. I mean, to go 9 3-pointers from their front court, it's just a different matchup for each and every team that plays them. And so we tried our wrinkles just like everybody did, but at the end of the day, it wasn't good enough. I told our kids, extremely proud of their effort. There are no moral victories at Xavier. We compete to win. Not too many teams are going to walk in to this arena, or any team, and win. But I would also tell you that if we did a little bit better job in transition defensively, and I don't mean that circus show that Raggy put on there in the 3 or 4 minutes, nobody's guarding that. I'm talking about some other instances where we could have been a smarter team. We could have talked a little bit more instead of our bigs running into the paint and then trying to match up. They got a few threes that way. Had we done a better job talking in transition, and then if we'd made the front end of 4 bonus shots, bonus attempts that we had, we'd have got to the line 26 times instead of 22 times, and the score may have been a little bit different. But ifs and buts. Questions?
Coach, how did you approach McDermott? I mean, you had Isaiah on him to start, but were you just playing the jump ball screens, and kind of what was your plan with him?
Well, I'm not going to necessarily get technical and tell you what our plan was. It obviously wasn't very effective. There's a reason he's going to score 3,000 points in his career, and to think he's a walk-on, that's the crazy thing.
Well, when you look at the stat sheets, I mean, you guys shot almost 50%. You won the rebounding battle, and you talked about that you're going to be better in defense. But
Yeah.
I mean, you come away feeling good about what you did there?
Well, you never feel good when you lose. Our offense wasn't the problem. You know, we got off to a great start. You know, their post trap, I think, hurt them. That's a staple of Creighton's. They like to trap the post. We knew Matt would make excellent passes out of it, and we got several wide open shots to begin the game. Didn't know if we'd make them at the level that we did, but, you know, our guys believe in themselves, and we believe in our team. But offense wasn't the problem. It's just how you defend Creighton. And, again, maybe the answer is having a little bit more of an undersized team, more athletic team. San Diego State, GW gave them, you know, obviously losses, but that's not who we are. Next time around, we have to figure out a better way to defend Creighton.
What's it like from your vantage point when Raggy does get on that circus show?
It's not a good one, I can tell you that. I told our team, and I know Creighton fans can't appreciate it, before we played him, that to me he was like Brad Redford, only about 9 inches taller. And Brad was a phenomenal shooter. I've never seen a guy shoot better than Brad. And, you know, a couple of our assistants came in during warm-ups and said, Coach, he shot about 40 shots. I don't think he missed one. So I thought he got it out of his system, but he didn't.
You mentioned the transition and the free throws. Any other area of the game you thought maybe got away from you, maybe in the middle part?
You know, I thought their run in the beginning of the second half, you know, put us on our heels. But again, to fight back and get the ball, you know, get it to a one-possession game. You know, I told our team all the time, you know, when you coach games, you're always at some point or another, no matter who you are, you're going to be in a position where your team's down so many points, there's 40 seconds left, and you ask your team to deny, don't let your man catch it, and work hard. And invariably, you always have 1 or 2 guys that just don't want to deny as hard as you want them to, and they end up catching it. That, to me, showed me we have a team that will never quit. We were denying. We made them use as many timeouts as they used. I was just proud of our kids' effort. And again, there aren't any moral victories. We have a really good team, but again, I don't think there are going to be too many people that come into Century Link Center and win, unless they have Creighton on their shirt.
Your team has started 3-0 in the conference, but all those games are at home. How much of a factor did the crowd play today?
You know, don't take this the wrong way. Not as much as I thought. We have a young team. You know, our experience at Alabama, which is, you know, night and day to here. But I thought the difference of the game was Creighton's basketball players. We knew the environment was going to be what it was. But I didn't think that rattled us. It may have energized Creighton, you know, but no, I was proud of the way our guys responded. I mean, it's great home court advantage. Don't get me wrong. it's an impressive place to play. It's great that they're in the same conference.
How much do you think Isaiah's foul trouble altered your complexion there?
Not a ton. I mean, obviously he provides some offense for us. We thought it'd be a tough matchup for Creighton on the other end. But we had guys that were willing. Justin Martin did as good of a job as he could on McDermott. I thought Matt Stainbrook, for being 6'10", 270 pounds, did a decent job. And I say that, he gets 35, but again, we don't necessarily have on our roster a guy that you would say that's a perfect matchup. And again, not many teams do.
Xavier and Creighton kind of have a history going back a few years in the non-conference. Was today's result kind of what you expected out of the game against between two together?
Well, I knew that it would be a challenge. We knew that it would be, really tough environment. We knew that they were a very skilled team who's been playing together for years. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was going to be a great college game, and again, I was proud of our kids for battling through that beginning stretch of the second half. Thanks.